Good morning to everyone. It looks like everyone is joining us from the West Coast this morning, so thank you for rising so early to attend the session. Just a brief overview of our objective this morning. We want to talk about the application of risk-based assessment and when we're establishing our plan for how we're going to conduct our eTMF QC activities. We'll talk about the various QC activities that can be performed to ensure that you have a high-quality inspection-ready eTMF. And we'll talk about some key artifacts that really have significant risk around quality issues, really based on both criteria for how that activity is performed as well as just my general experience. So before we get started, I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Donna Dorzinski. I've been in the clinical research business for over 25 years, and I spent 15 years in large pharma. Following that, I've actually spent the last several years in industry as a consultant. I'm very experienced in the area of clinical compliance and GCP inspections. I've just in the last year alone, I've been through 3 FDA inspections and 1 EMA inspection. So what I will be bringing to you today is really what I consider to be the health authority expectations in terms of a quality TMF. I also was chair of the Zone 4 revisions for the reference model and currently serve on several other committees for the reference model. And I'm very experienced with Part 11. So I'll also try and make sure that I address the paper application as well as the electronic application to the eTMF and quality review. So before we start, I just want to put us all on the same playing field in terms of what is a TMF. And when we think about TMF, what we really think about is this standalone set of documentation that really doesn't require any additional explanation in terms of what it means. Essentially, your TMF should be your story of what happened during the study, the story from the very beginning to the very end. And so by pulling all of this information together, we should be able to recreate what happened with the study. One of the things that I have found in the last year in terms of regulatory inspections is these health authority investigators, they don't want to talk to your subject matter experts. They want to see the documentation because it really doesn't matter what you say you did. They want to know what you have evidence of what you did. And that's why the TMF is really so critical to inspection readiness. And after all, isn't that the ultimate goal here is we want to come through our regulatory inspection and we want to get our drug approved. It's known as the collection of documentation that allows the conduct of the trial, the integrity of the data, and the compliance with JCP to be evaluated. And really, that's how the TMF is used. During a health authority inspection, we use the documentation to say, yes, we conducted the trial according to our protocol and our plans. We have high integrity data because we've had a lot of oversight around how our data was collected, and we did everything in compliance with GCP. So it's really this output from all of your functional areas for study-related activities. Now, I'm really excited that we have such a large group here today. This is very encouraging to me. But what's really important to remember is that one of the big takeaways is a complete TMF isn't a complete collection of ClinOps records. It's a complete story of the study. And so our TMF goes well beyond just the ClinOps records and includes all of our functional areas. And I think this is really important. I think still as an industry, we're not quite there yet. And this definition comes from the EU directive. Right now, the current regulatory requirements are around a comprehensive list of content that defines what our TMF is. So they want to know, these health authorities, when these inspectors come in, they want to know, well, what constitutes your TMF and where is your TMF content? If you're expecting an FDA inspection, you really can expect everything from, give me the paper and let me look at it, to, can I have your TMF on a thumb drive? I want to look on it on my computer, to sit down and show me what's in your TMF. The thing is, you don't get to choose, your inspector does. So one inspector this summer walked into the sponsor on Tuesday at 4 o'clock and said, I'll be back tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. Give me your TMF on a thumb drive. Another inspector walked into a sponsor, well, actually emailed the sponsor on Monday and said, I'll be there next Monday. Here's a list of what I want ready. I'll decide what I want to look at when I get there. And that person arrived on Monday and probably looked at 25% of what she requested, and everything else she looked at was things she hadn't requested. So you can imagine that planning for a regulatory inspection is almost impossible. And so what you have to do is plan for a high-quality inspection-ready TMF. And that's really what this session is about today. This content list is a list of all of the different types of records that you're going to have to make up your TMF.